This show is brought to you by Patriots 3. And here's your hosts, Tim, Spitfire, Billy, Albert, Firecracker, and Squirrel. Hey, how you all doing tonight?
Good.
All good.
Very good.
Well, I'm in total darkness right now. We had I like to call it fun weather. There's a touchdown a little bit north of me, northeast. So we got knocked out of power completely. So this show has been brought to you by. No, I'm actually running a flip phone to get a Wi-Fi hotspot right now, and
Awesome.
this seems to be working right now. So,
Awesome.
do you have it turned on Rumble? Now you do. Okay,
no,
it's on now.
It's been on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's probably a slight delay.
He's trying to shut us off down below.
It's on Rumble. Look, there it is. There it is. Look, see everybody? I got it on Rumble.
Right on. You got to turn down that volume, otherwise we're gonna have some funny feedback. Yeah. So tonight's topic is about Trump's picks and what we think about what his cabinet is. So that's what our open discussion is going to be tonight with our wonderful panelists here. And I don't know. There's some good things and some bad things and some things that we're kind of iffy about. Wouldn't you all agree?
Yes. For sure.
Squirrel, you're being too loud over there. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I totally hear you there, Albert.
What?
There he
You
is.
guys are a crack up.
Look. Here's one thing that I want to start off with, right? And I saw the topic Trump's picks, right?
Yeah.
You know what Trump's pick was? If you think about it and go back and like take it all in, it was all of us here. It was we the people. Trump's pick is us, we the people, to help us be better. So I'll leave it like that.
That's a good way to actually open the show. So yeah, one of the people he's picked is Elon Musk, and so I want to start out with that topic right there. So Spitfire, we had quite a bit of a good conversation yesterday regarding Elon Musk. Fill us in a little bit on what we talked about.
As far as Elon doing the Doge, that seemed okay. Do your job, do it right, and he was able to go in and out. But as far as trusting Elon or anything I really don't.
Yeah.
I've never really had a good feeling about him. He does a lot of things. I understand. He does for good, like brain chips and things like that. To me, I just don't know about some of this. I know he says for Alzheimer's and so forth.
Yeah.
But good can turn into bad.
True.
And he is so far advanced in what he's doing that it makes me really question a lot about him. The trust just really isn't there with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. I mean, as far as the pick on starting that Doge, I guess that was okay. But as far as trusting Elon, no, I don't trust him. I think he could turn on a dime real quick.
Oh, Albert, can you lower? You have something in your background playing. Can you lower that, please?
Yeah.
Appreciate that, bud.
Oh, it's y'all guys on the TV. Man, see, God, Billy, it's Billy's fault. Billy said, turn it all up. It's Billy's fault. He told me, have a full blast.
All right, Billy, what's your thoughts on Elon? We'll just pass the mic over to you.
See, this is the thing.
Whoa, we lost your audio somehow.
Uh-oh.
There, Billy.
Can you hear me?
Nope. You got way distant on us. And while Billy's fixing the audio, Albert, what's your thoughts on?
I got some. Oh, okay, go ahead.
What's that, brother?
What's your thoughts on Elon Musk?
Well, I mean, so me personally, I think, you know what? Yeah, we see Trump, right? But you have Elon, okay?
Yeah.
You and I say like we're at our jobs or what have you. Imagine knowing like the richest person on this planet, right? But yet he used to be Democrat, but now he's like uncovering this and that. I think it's a positive thing, but I mean, he can do anything he wants to, but yet he is like today, the cabinet meeting occurred and he's there and, and,
Yeah.
and he's answering. So we, maybe there is a point where like, hey, yeah, because, we know how the money is root of all evil, but maybe he has this little thing where like, hey, you know what, there is a God.
Maybe. Maybe.
Albert froze up on my side, at least.
Dang.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right, we're gonna pass the microphone back over to Billy. See if we can hear him.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you a lot better now.
Yay.
Sorry about that. Bluetooth audio connecting in the
Ah,
other devices.
gotcha,
I
gotcha.
apologize.
Watch out for those
I'm
trains.
gonna. I'll sound a little jaded on the topic because this is where I'm at. Tim, you're my friend. Spitfire's my friend. Squirrel's my friend.
Well,
I
thanks,
would
Billy.
never
We're not your friends.
everyone in here is my friend, but would I want to put you, if I became president tomorrow, would
Yeah.
I trust your guys' judgment? Yes. But now here's the thing, would I want to put you into a position where you're going to be under a magnifying glass
Right,
and be
right,
attacked? So this
right.
is the thing is, anybody that's been in the military or certain federal jobs knows there's certain things as top secret clearance.
Yeah.
When you have access to certain information,
I agree.
and he's going through the filing cabinet on a lot of things, and I'm grateful for that. But the
Right.
thing I'm concerned about is whether you're Republican, Democrat, liberal, whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
history has shown a lot of politicians got their hand in the cookie jar. And
Right.
and when you give that much power to one person, where comes power becomes a misuse of power.
Yep.
So, I'm
Yeah.
going to stay reserved and, let his track record speak for himself, but I am being reserved about it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the amount of money that they are like finding that has been wasted is ridiculous.
Yep.
I mean, that is like a tremendous amount of money. And they're paying people that were like from 1 year old to 5 years old, they're paying them like unemployment or something. It was something crazy.
199 years old getting Social Security.
Correct.
And this
Or
is why
yeah.
we call her Firecracker, because she just took that mic right from Billy. Continue, Firecracker.
I'm sorry, Billy. I was just going
Go
with
right
you
ahead.
on that. I
Go
do
right
think
ahead,
I
Firecracker.
appreciate that.
You got it. You got it. The floor is
I
yours.
totally appreciate that. But yeah, I don't trust anybody actually, as far as I could throw them. But if you're finding that kind of waste, I mean, imagine that's just the stuff that's on the surface. There's got to be a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, dead people voting. I mean, come on, that's a thing right now too. That's huge. A lot of dead people voted in the last election. I don't know how them and illegal immigrants. I'm just kidding. But seriously, there was a whole lot of people. And you're right. Billy's right. You don't want to open up like all your personal information to people. You don't want to give that to just anybody. But again, he's filthy rich. Why would he want that job? I don't know. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, then again, that's what, like you say, he's filthy rich. So he has all the money in the world. He's not here to steal or from us. Maybe he's trying to help. Maybe he had a conscience, right? We're not gods, but we're not the judges. But maybe there's something. Hey, maybe he wants to help we the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope somebody wants to help we the people because we sure need it. We the people need help.
Squirrel, what's your thoughts on Elon Musk?
I like him. I like his go-getter attitude on things. He's been doing a good job, but he can be erratic.
Yeah.
And that's the part of him that I ultimately don't trust.
The power side.
Yep. I mean, you give somebody too much money, they'll find power. You give somebody too much power, they'll get the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, he's already got the money and he has the power to do things.
Right.
So we have to hope that it doesn't go to his head and that he doesn't get the mentality of, I'm just going to do everything for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what's really cool about Trump and Elon Musk together is they're both businessmen.
Yeah.
So
That is,
so if let's just say worst case scenario that that Musk's agenda is to do everything he can for himself and to help his business. Well, guess what? He's going to help other businesses as well in the end.
Yeah.
You put up
Yeah.
tariffs to try and bring business back to the States.
right.
You start cutting government programs that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, it's true.
And if you make it easier for businesses to make money, it makes it easier for the rest of us to make money.
So let me tell you something about other businesses making money. So let me show you this real quick. Let me show you what we do for Elon Musk. Reach out and his little engineers came to my company. Let me show you this. Watch this. Hold on.
Okay.
Look,
Well, how much?
look.
Well, okay.
No. Seriously, you see this
Okay.
SpaceX, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So our company here, Industrial Fabricators of Corpus Christi, guess what? We manufacture a lot of what they do, right? From our shop, from our business, for our big shop, and so I'm happy that we have the business. And guess what? I have all the employees in my company, and we do a lot of work, and it's helpful to us. Y'all see it, SpaceX, right? So
Yeah.
you see how this was able to, like, so you can put it down on something, right? So yes.
That's pretty cool. That looks. All right. So what my thoughts are is,
That's cool.
Elon came in. He bought Twitter, or X, as he's renamed it, and it was supposed to be freedom of speech, but it actually is not 100% freedom of speech. He did do a good cleanup job on getting more efficiency for that company, and didn't he relocate it out of the San Francisco area over to another blue area, otherwise known as Austin, Texas? So it's
Yep.
quite interesting on that move. There's more freedoms in Texas. We can ask one of our friends here that's on stage. That there is more freedom, but it's quite an interesting move on that part. And Billy's absolutely right as far as him having too much information, especially with
Yeah.
Starlink.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a fun one. Elon
Yeah.
Musk is also in this micro technology. To like plug into the humans and start chipping people. I'm not a fan of a lot of the stuff that the guy's
Right.
doing. I like the Doge part of it, but there's a lot I'm not too fond of.
Yeah.
There's a rabbit hole you can go down with that one.
Oh, there's a
Right.
lot of rabbit holes we can go down with this one.
Right. When I watched the cabinet people talking, I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't hear him talk about was any kind of justice reform, like the whole judicial system, like the way they weaponized it against Trump, and they kept throwing all the law. Same thing happens to normal everyday people. They just don't have the same kind of financing to be able to fight it, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't seen anything or heard anything about anybody doing anything with that. That's probably a big, huge area they need to look at, because it's not fair. I mean, why
Now-
are people incarcerated?
Now, isn't that Pam Bondi's job or no?
I sort of, I guess, because she's the FBI person, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's the same thing as the courts, though. But I don't know that they're talking about that right now, because all the people that were held without a trial for 2 years, that seems a little crazy.
Yeah.
And somebody should be concerned about that. I think they should be concerned about that.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. And I don't want anybody, thrown in jail for 2 years without a damn trial. So there's that.
Right.
In terms of security, national security and stuff like that, I think she's pretty good. She seems pretty sharp. I don't know. I don't know her. I probably won't never know her.
Are we at the first 100 days yet? I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. They just had a big thing on the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I don't know. They talked about the EPA and opening up the stuff. I don't know. They talked about a bunch of stuff, but nothing related to our judicial system. So I thought they should.
Ooh, okay.
I was hoping they would. I mean, I don't know. I don't want that to happen to anybody I know.
Right, right.
Yeah, they need to work on it.
Yeah, and last I checked, due process was supposed to be a thing.
Yeah, it is. Or innocent until proven guilty, but that's not how it rolls.
Right.
Right.
It's guilty until proven innocent, maybe.
That's the
Yep.
way it seems to go, and it's very unfortunate that it's turned into that constitutional
but-
republic. But
Right. But Spitfire's right. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust any of, I mean, after the last president and all that with the scandalous stuff that was happening, I don't trust anybody. And it remains to be seen what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think our voting stuff should be key and our court should be key. That should be very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Bill. He said I.
oh, we got another one in the peanut gallery. Cool.
Yeah. Where's Ron? Spitfire, where's Ron?
I don't know. He's not home yet. So
Oh, shit. Okay. Okay.
Did I just do?
We always got to have that, huh?
So Albert, what's your thoughts on Pam Bondi?
Pam Bondi. I mean, you know what? Here's the whole deal, and I just heard what Firecracker said. You know what? Lean not on your own understanding, right? Remember, everybody that we see, you know, on the news and this and that, the president is, remember, they're just people. Lean,
Yeah,
on,
just like
lean on the understanding of what God has for you, right? That's
Right.
the person that we need to lean on. Yeah, we're here on this physical realm, okay?
Yeah.
right,
And,
right.
and
I
it's
agree.
it's a daily struggle, but yet unless we have faith as small as a mustard seed, we have to be keep on continuing and continuing. We cannot say,
Right.
"Oh yeah, this," and we don't worship Trump. We don't worship. No, no, we worship our Lord and Savior. So it's hard us here on a fleshly self, but we will make it. Right to this day, we're still here because we have our faith. Just let's
Yeah.
keep going and have the understanding. It will come to pass, right? And when it does, you're like, thank you, Lord. Thank you. Guess what? Our children, our children's children will be better off in everything that's going to come to pass, right? So
Yeah.
just take it at a one day at a time, always one day at a time.
True. I agree.
Amen, amen. Hey, I forgot to say, if anybody's watching this, go ahead and give a like, share it, and follow on Tim Holiday TV. So that's TimHolliday TV. And it's on Rumble, it's on Facebook, and wow, surprisingly, we're not flagged on YouTube just yet, but who knows?
That'll
Just
happen.
wait, hey Tim, just wait. When I put something on YouTube, I'm sorry, bro. If you get, I made a picture for you, but whatever.
Well, my computer is not powered up, and that's sitting on my computer. And yeah, anyway, so I want to make a correction. Someone said that I didn't say Texas is blue. There's certain areas in Texas that are blue, and
Right,
Austin
right,
is one of them.
Right.
I believe Houston is another one. So
There's a total of 8 counties in
Yeah.
Texas that are blue out of the 279, right? My county here, red.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So
I think
just to make
people
that
should
quick
just-
correction. I didn't say Texas is blue. I mean, they still have the 2A over there.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Hey, really? What do you mean 2A? I don't. We have a bunch of water balloons. Is that what you mean? Bubble gum machines. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, bubblegum machines. Those are nice.
Yeah.
Do they cost a quarter there?
Yeah, people go fishing, and some people said they took some things like this out there, boating accidents. I have no clue. If someone comes here, I'm gonna turn on my spigot and hose them down. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
All right. So, thoughts on Dan Bongino?
I like Bongino.
I do too.
I'm a fan.
yeah, I like him.
Billy?
I think he has the energy to do his job and do it to the fullest and represent the people to the fullest.
And
he
I
has
think
knowledge.
he's about the people. He's about the people for sure. Hmm.
And surprisingly enough, he's actually from the Obama administration.
I know, isn't that odd?
Yeah. Squirrel. You're being too
Squirrel.
quiet.
Yep.
Yep. So
Girl was
so you
having
guys like him,
flashbacks
or-
of a pool party.
All right, where's those water balloons, Albert?
Well, if you think about it, people have to go back to just helping one another because we can't rely on anybody else. We got to rely on each other.
Yeah.
So you got to help your neighbors. You got to do what you got to do. Just be loving and kind and do the best you can do. But doing the right thing isn't always the easy thing either.
True.
Trying to change
Yep.
things is easy. It's
But I
hard.
mean, if we don't stand up and do the right thing, then we're letting the evil pass through,
Right.
and
Right, correct.
we might as well be a part of evil if we're not standing up.
Right. But
Which
in
is
the
terrible.
interim, we help each other. Yeah, we just
Yeah.
we
So,
lend a
Albert,
hand.
what's your thoughts on Dan Bongino?
Look, I'm gonna say that when he had his podcast saying this and whatever, as even Cash Patel, everyone, I'm gonna release it. Dan Bongino gonna do this. I think that right now, once they got into the position, they're like, we just can't do this. And I think they're going by procedure. And today, I don't know if y'all saw, they're going by the rule of law. If it was the other side, they'd be like, whatever. But they are doing what they can because under the rule of law, because whenever things go down and the public sees everything, then they're going to understand. And if they want to go back and research, it's going to be by the rule of law. Dan Bongino is awesome, really, really good. He wants so much to like boom, 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 but he has to follow the rule of law. And of course, for us, we want to see everything now: arrest, the proof, this, but we're not them. They're like, okay, let's do it the right way. So that way there's not someone or whatever getting through because of this red tape or whatever, or this was done wrong. I think Trump wants everyone to have the T's crossed and the I's dotted. I think that's how it goes. Let's see, man. We're living right now in a mood. Well, we're in this lifetime to experience to see what happens for the best of we the people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think with the experience that Dan Bongino has, I think he's going to fill in the part really well.
I agree.
It's almost like he's filling in some old shoes, but he's moving forward in a predominant way that's going to move some things. And as Albert was just saying, he does need to follow some rules and guidelines that are already laid out. And hopefully everything's done in a constitutional manner. And no one's stepping on anyone's toes. But I hope that the job is done well and correctly. Oh, I'm not seeing all the message on the recent one. What's that say?
Billy sent me a message saying that told me not to be passing gas in chat. That's a Billy.
I don't know. I got mixed emotions about that, Tim, in the sense of I look at the persecution over the last administration on how they handled people's trials, court dates, releasing information so they could effectively defend themselves.
Okay.
And I feel over the last 20 years, there's been people that have bent and went behind the scenes and under the lines to make their agenda possible. So I'm not saying an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, but I look at it like this: when you're facing a enemy on a certain level, sometimes you got to play a little dirtier than them.
Right. Because they can bend the laws to their advantage. Like they just bend it and tweak it to whatever they need. We can't do that.
Right.
No normal person could do that.
Yeah.
That's why so many people are incarcerated and they're not even guilty and they get released 50 years later or 20 years later or whatever. Stuff like that.
Hey, and one thing, Tim, I know this is your podcast, your show. I want to, if with your permission, our brother LW, Pam, and Billy, may I say this?
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
I have no idea what you're going. I have no idea what you're going to say, so I can't say yes. You may say yes.
Anything and everything that we do in here, this chat is for all of us, for we the people. Never will I say anything on a negative or derogatory effect. But our brother LW still in there, right? So still keep on pushing for the release, right? A brother who just wanted to stand for we the people, who did a certain type of things, right, for we the people. LW, we love you, and prayers to you, my brother, and we hope to see you out soon. Sorry that the bad wants to put you back in there because they have no recourse or don't care for you, but yet we the people care for you. 10-4, that's all I want to say, bro.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
That's why we need
Yeah.
this reform. We
So
need
yeah,
some
I'll share the link in
reform.
the show description a little later for how to help out LW. There's
Yes,
actually
yes,
two
yes.
different links, and I'll get that out there
That's great.
on all the different platforms. Unfortunately, I'm almost seem to be powerless without electricity for the last over 36 hours. So yeah,
Poor thing.
the sun is down. As you can see, it's getting darker in here. I'm powered by a couple of flashlights here.
I'm just getting excited. I'm hoping you bring up my pick that I love here soon.
Which one? Which one? You bring it up here, Billy. Bring it.
Good
Yeah.
old Kennedy.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, RFK Jr.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Nice. Go
That's
ahead.
one that's
to me.
one I'm super hyped about. The things
to
that
me.
he's doing, the things I've been saying for years about our food, about autism, just certain things, and I'm just like, finally, nobody thinks I'm a tinfoil nut anymore, and I'm like, finally, somebody's backing me up on a major platform.
Hey, you're
Right.
correct. You're correct. That's what's wrong with me now. And I was one, and I'm for
Too
real.
many red vines. That red 40.
Give that man a roll of tinfoil.
I would rather have my licorice a little light pink instead of bright red and not like die of cancer later on,
Right, right.
I'm trying to cut down. Oh, that
Spitfire,
was funny.
what's your thoughts on RFK Jr.? And you're on mute. There you go.
Oh, shoot. There you go, Spitfire.
I like him.
How do you too?
I've always liked him. Yeah, and like about our food and all that. Yeah, that does need to be changed. I mean, we have so many foods in this country that's illegal in other countries. And why is that? So many chemicals. Some things like when you read on the back of the ingredients, you don't even know what half that stuff is.
Right.
Just like in other countries, if you go buy a bread, the next day the bread's really hard and within a few days it's molded. Our bread can last, it will give you the expiration date of 3 weeks down the road. And I'm sorry, but 6-8 weeks later, it's still the same, That's kind of scary.
It sounds like that infamous,
That's
I really
infamous
like
fast
what
food
he's
place
doing. Yeah.
The infamous fast food place that uses so much preservative it doesn't go bad. Yeah. So
Well, you would think that would save you on plastic surgery for some people. I mean, you shouldn't have preserved the body too,
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, but
we can't eat a bunch of cream-filled sponge cakes and live forever because of all the overloaded preservatives.
And instead it's killing you. Yeah, slowly.
Well, I'm watching Squirrel, and Squirrel, like, how do you make your eyes pop out like that? Is that from the chemtrail?
That.
I like the fact that RFK is bringing awareness to fluoride in our water.
Yep.
Right.
The food dyes.
Yeah.
Right.
The studies on obesity and what the decrease in our physical abilities as a society over the last 40 years.
Yeah.
And you look at most people nowadays, and there's that saying, you are what you eat. But then you go to, for those that have been out of the country, like Pam was saying, you go to certain grocery stores in Europe, you can't get a box of normal mac and cheese. They have other stuff. But what's nice about it is you look at the back of a box of, say cereal and overseas, and you're like, oh, I can read and understand these ingredients. Yeah. I challenge everyone on this panel to go to their, in their pantry and just look at a box of cereal and tell me if you can pronounce everything on the back of that box.
I'm not into casting voodoo spells, dude. I don't want to summon any demons.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
It's
okay, but the bad thing though is, so you've had people from other countries. I watched some of those videos where they taste American food, right? And they're like,
Albert,
great.
put that down. Albert, put that down. Albert, put it away. Thank you, brother.
Because it tastes, they even say American food tastes really good, and some of their foods from other countries really don't. But yet our food is full of so much poisons.
Sorry, brother.
Yeah,
Well,
you
like
wouldn't
I
know.
was showing
Yeah,
my
it's sad.
nephew some I'll call it some of the O grain cereal. It has an infamous
Oh
name.
yeah,
We're noted to give that to children that are teething. It contains trisodium phosphate, which is known to
yeah,
cause cancer. It was pulled
right,
from California as a paint thinner because it causes cancer. I'm
right,
surprised
right.
that there's not a Prop 65 California label on the side of a box of cereal.
It should
But
be. It
it
should
should
be.
be.
Yeah, it should be.
I
It's
got a
killing.
good one for
It
you.
doesn't matter what state you're in, you'll still see that Prop 65 warning.
I think that'd be funny, and people would probably still buy it without knowing, which
So
is even dumber.
Albert, we can't be showing brands on our screens. No, put that
But
brand down. Put it down, dude.
I put tape
You're
over it.
gonna get me, dude.
I put the tape over it.
Dude. Can I ask you?
I apologize, bro.
We'll have a
I
conversation
got a quick
after.
question.
Put it down.
No. Spitfire,
So
you're right.
Hey, God bless us all. God bless you, Jimmy. You are such an awesome individual for having this and
See, just,
giving
just
so
like
much.
Dan Bongino can't do certain things, there's certain things I'm not allowing you to do, brother. I'm following
I'll
rules and
say 18 Hail Marys or whatever it is, or
well, yeah, put those Hail Marys toward me too, brother.
Can we
Not
get some
against,
power
not
back?
against me.
I'm sorry.
there's actually two ingredients that you see on a daily basis that I've been curious about since I've been seeing them on ingredient labels, and that's natural and artificial flavors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What's
and they get
in
away
those?
with.
What's in artificial flavor?
It doesn't
that
state.
was that's the problem. They weren't regulating it.
Exactly.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Am
a
I
few
okay
years
with
back.
this one? How about
A
this?
few years. Hey, what brand is that?
So look, here's the deal. So I like when I get to work, I have like my routine. I get to work, I do this, go grocery store, do this, whatever. My today was to make deviled eggs. So, but I got in chat, so I'm like, at least they're already almost there. But guess what? This is a generic.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I need
So
no
there's a good
brand.
one right there. Try melting some supposed cheese, and does it melt? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Have
exactly.
you noticed? Have you noticed that with certain? I won't say names, but with certain butters,
Yeah.
if you go to saute, like say some onions, the butter burns off real fast and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, somebody introduced me to Amish butter
Yes. Good stuff.
a few years back.
That's
And
good stuff.
it's like, reduce in a pan, this and that. And I'm like, it's not reducing. It's not like normal butter,
Yeah.
But Amish
Amish
butter.
paradise. Amish paradise.
I will give them an advertisement because that stuff is good on a seared steak.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, butter on steak. I grew up with that. I tell you.
On ribeye, yeah. Amish paradise, Amish butter with the ribeye.
So again, I'll go ahead and I'll just say that what RFK is doing with the food and the food industry is a wonderful thing, as well as and he's going to be tapping into the drug industry, which is great because he's the overseer of all that, which is wonderful. I mean, I had a conversation. This was in 2019 about a thyroid medication that I was taking. It's a synthetic form, and the insert ingredients on some of these medications is ridiculous. So the medication I was taking contained talc, and there was a famous company for their baby powder that was actually, or was it the baby powder or a different kind of powder that was
Baby powder.
sued for
Baby
it
powder.
caused cancer. And it's
Yep.
like, why if it happens over there, let's make it happen over here.
Right.
So
Yeah.
get rid of the talc all around. But no, it's still in that medication for thyroid. So I had a discussion with my doctor and switched over to a more natural form, which was not covered by insurance. And
Of course
I'm
not.
actually glad to say, I'm really proud to say, as of what's today? 5 days ago was the last time I've taken any pharmaceutical, so I am completely pharma free.
Oh, that's good.
I don't even take OTCs. I don't like any of that stuff.
I don't either.
It's a wonderful thing, great journey that I'm taking by improving my health by leaps and bounds. I can't see that, brother. Are you showing another label? Get the labels off the screen, brother.
Ivermectin.
Aha,
Ivermectin.
yes.
Ivermectin.
So yeah, so there's been some studies and research, as we found out in these last 5 years, about some very cost-effective ways to treat a lot of different things. I'm not a doctor; I can't prescribe anything, but ivermectin seems to be one of the things that are helping a lot of people with certain respiratory elements and as well as other elements. And I'll just go that far by stating that.
I think RFK said by September he would have his study done, some kind of study.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know if you heard that, Billy. Did you hear that too? Yeah.
What I
They were
like, what I like that he's trying to do is streamline the costs because for people we know, we have, everyone's knows somebody that has cancer. Okay, the same medicine that you get here, you can get out of the country for way cheaper.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's the same thing from my understanding. And if we have the opportunity to lower costs for an American to streamline them living a little bit longer, I think
Yeah.
as a society, that's something that should be noted and taken into consideration. Like, hey, if we can send X amount of money overseas to, I'll
Right.
just Ukraine, I'd rather help somebody in a hospital
Here.
here
Yeah.
that needs
Somebody
a
that needs it here.
medication that's going to help them keep them alive.
Correct. I don't want my tax dollars going to the Ukraine. I don't want them going anywhere but here. Right? Because we need it here.
And that's
I
the
don't want
thing.
any taxes. How about that?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So, and that's the thing, right now with we remember, okay, Trump, right? And the when he was president on the last term, right?
Yeah.
So if you remember, he said, I knew these people, and I somewhat didn't know much of them, and now that things happen, he's learned. Now that things are better right now, just like any of us, right? You have that conception of like, oh my God, really, really that happened. Now that you learn, you know, now
That it
it's
didn't.
going to be better, and it's going to be for the better with people, and he's not, going to say, oh yeah, and bow out. No, he's like, you know what? Huh, it's for us, right? For the people who support me, who support this country, who love our country. And I
Yeah.
think it's going to be better going forward. 10-4.
Right.
Roger that. So I mean, we brought up school teachers and I've talked with people about how much do school teachers get paid, and then how much do the administrators get paid versus the school teacher.
Right.
The school teacher is probably getting like 48,000 a year annually, and the
Horrible.
administrator is making more than twice that. Make it make
Right.
sense, please. And there's
Right.
multiple
Yeah.
administrators, not just one. So make that make sense.
Well, we'll make it make sense. Even at that, I understand what you're saying, my brother. But the deal is, say the parents don't agree with what's going on and they go to the school board meeting. Those people are getting paid etc. amount of money. But yet when the parent, hey, wait a minute, what's it? What are you teaching our kids? And they go, and then our poor patriot brother and sister parents are getting arrested. That's a problem, right? So if it's something that's going to help them, like right now, the kids, like, so right now with my company, so I ask them to read a certain statement, and on purpose, I put it in cursive, right? These young welders, and they can't read it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where the issue is. How much are they doing to really, really teach our kids, as when we were taught, right? And
Yeah.
it's a big ordeal, brother.
So yeah, with Gen X, we were kind of the last ones that were taught a lot of this good stuff. Not the absolute last, but it's kind of faded out. But what do you all think about the Department of Education?
No,
Ooh
it's a
yeah,
dirty.
Go ahead, Firecracker, take it away.
No, that's a dirty word right there.
Uh-huh.
I think. How about money laundering? I don't know. I'm going to say money laundering. That's what I think.
Bingo.
They're giving it all back to the states now because it was all just a way to filter their money.
And so
That's all.
we have two people here to do homeschooling. So go for it, Billy. Go. He's
Billy, go.
he's doing that thing.
All my kids, have I tried doing public school? Yes. if your child has issues at school, the only time they call you is when your kid is absent, in my experience, because when they're absent, they're not getting that money. But if your kid's having a hard time reading or this or that, why do you gotta wait until the end of the trimester to have the parent, the teacher conference to let me know then? Why couldn't you have picked up the phone and
When it's way
called
too
me
late.
and update?
Go
Yeah.
ahead
You
and
know.
carry on the conversation. I got to excuse myself for a minute.
Yeah.
it-
So Billy, with
Yeah.
the if it was a female teacher, the trimester, I get what you're saying.
That's stuff, Albert.
That's what she said.
No,
Hey,
but
make
like,
it chat fun, bro.
but you look at kids. I was scared of doing homeschool because I'm like, okay. But then I look back to when I was a kid, spending 8 hours in a classroom, and I look at my son now. He can get a full day's worth of school that, like a public school does, done in 2 hours.
I was gonna say, yeah.
In 2 hours. And then he gets to go outside, learn how to garden, pick up a hammer, life
Right.
skills, tools that are
Right.
going to help him in life,
Right.
versus
Yeah.
getting told, sit still, sit down, don't move. It's like,
Yeah.
to me,
Raise your
I'm
hand.
going to sound a little cuckoo when I say this, but I feel public schools are meant to take the drive out of our youth. Because a free thinker that wants to look out the window, you remember it from school,
Let
that
'em
one
look.
kid
Let 'em look.
that's just staring out the window like a caged wolf, wanting to get out and run.
Right.
We're meant to run.
Well, hey, imagine Billy. Like, I mean, we all knew. Well, at least I knew what a paddle was with the 6 holes in it. Right now, the kids nowadays. Oh no, we're gonna sue you and whatever. And we learned. I remember, like, right? Like, okay, I won't do that again. 10,000 lines, I will behave in class, blah, blah. And that paddle, like, God dang it. If you pick your head up again, you're in 3 more. But do the kids do that now? No.
So I will bring.
Well,
Let me bring up this real quick, Squirrel. Sorry to cut you off. I've been holding this one in. So you look at most daycares. How many kids per parent or per teacher is a daycare supposed to have? Most of them, I believe it's 12-ish, around that.
Depending on the
But then
age,
you
yeah.
look at the normal size of a public school's classroom.
Right.
Why
Right.
is it,
Right.
sometimes over 30
Yeah.
for
You got to
one
squeeze
teacher?
it sideways down the aisle to get to your
So,
desk.
but if it's
Yeah.
not good enough for daycare, and
Why is
it should be the same. There should
right?
be an even playing field. I think one teacher, at a junior high level, 10, 15 kids.
Yeah.
It sucks, costs more money to hire more teachers, but you're able to impact the kids more with one-on-one and individual time, and they're going to retain that information versus, hey, they're the kid in the back of the class, number 30, and he's over
Right.
here, whatever.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
food for thought.
And you were talking about kids that are especially high school, because these kids are getting ready literally for the rest of their lives.
That's why life skills are important.
Every high school should teach common sense. Should
Yeah,
be an
logic.
elective.
A little
But
street
I'd really like to touch on something Albert said earlier about school board meetings.
No, that's true. Parent teacher.
About when a parent goes to a school board meeting to voice their opinion. They're not there just to voice their opinion. They've shown up to address grievances. It is literally in our First Amendment for us to be able to redress grievances on our government, and our public schools are government.
Right, correct.
So why is it that when a concerned parent merely wants to know what's going on, shows up to a school board meeting and asks them, is this part of your curriculum? Is this part of what you guys are doing?
Right.
All of a sudden, it's, oh, no, we can't talk about that.
Yeah,
And if you
it's bad.
continue, you're gonna get removed or arrested.
Right.
Yeah, you
The
know
other
what?
thing is, the
Yeah,
other thing that's crazy is when they do closed door meetings.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
shady.
If you are representing the people in any way at a public capacity,
Yeah.
the books are open. Period. There's
Mhm.
no
Yes.
hide. You keep a ledger, and I get to go over it any time I want. If my
Right.
tax dollars are going into it, I should be
Right.
able to see it.
Yep.
What
well,
was
I'm
the
still
budget
thinking
at
a
the
few years back when those parents went to the school board meeting. The next thing you know, they are considered domestic terrorists. Do you remember that? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
hell,
You can
you
never
know, wow. And then I've seen some videos of parents addressing the school board, and they're like, "Oh, you can't film us. You can't talk to us like that. You can't do this." When they're like, "Yeah, I can. I
Right.
can do this."
Yeah, even
And they'll even, like what Billy said, they have people arrested or removed
yeah,
for
from the
really
meeting.
nothing, just for speaking their truth, what they need to say. Yeah, it's yeah, it needs a change. Big
Yeah.
time.
Does anybody know the budget of the Department of Education and what they had been spending in the years past?
well, I just wrote a check for them, and it was if you call me at 444-4444,
There he goes with that number again. Don't give him.
I can give you that information. Operators standing by right now, but I can tell you I'll let you know. Be right back.
But we do
He's
know
so
that they're like in the state of California. There's a terrible group. I think is otherwise known as the California Teachers Association.
yeah,
Ooh, that's not a good group.
bad word.
I'll
Bad word.
just put it that way. They have way too much control on what goes on with the California education system, and they seem to be a lobbyist in a terrible way. Hey, we lost
Yeah.
Albert. Whoops.
Ah.
There he goes playing with his phone too much.
There he goes.
The whole
Yeah.
thing is when did it become normal to leave a child behind? My thing is with school is that's what really upsets me is the teachers. Do I feel teachers get underpaid? Yes, but give me some results where I can push for you to get more money.
Right.
So the No Child Left Behind actually came from George W. Bush, or I call him George
Oh
Bush
yeah.
Jr. So that's where that actually was implemented. It was during his presidency, and I wasn't a fan of that. Absolutely not. I think it's more damaging to a child by pushing him forward without him actually learning the proper ways of or having the proper education underneath that child's belt.
Right.
Right. And No Child
Well,
Left
another
Behind
thing we're not talking about is the college kids.
is that you
You know,
don't leave a single kid behind in learning what they need to learn.
Mhm.
And they push them forward just to graduate them. And these college kids, I mean, some of the courses it's a scam, a
It
big
is.
money scam.
Yep.
Yep.
If you want whatever be something in college, those should be the courses you need to take, not
Yeah.
some off the wall courses that's not going to do you no good. You're just paying money on.
Right.
That needs to be fixed too.
Yep.
Paying a lot of
Money for it.
colleges are messed up. Yeah.
Colleges
I
are
believe
horrible.
trade schools.
Yeah.
Trade schools.
Yep.
And they have their whole own rules at colleges, like their own laws and stuff. It's kind of crazy. They can lock you up in a drunk tank on a college. I never knew
Good
that
luck.
before.
Yeah.
Good luck
My
catching
daughter
me.
called me after she was in a drunk tank one night at college.
Well,
Billy's on
what's
the
so
move.
funny is well, it's not really funny. Trade schools.
Yeah.
Right.
To get in trade school now, it's skyrocketed.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
cost to get in
did.
has skyrocketed.
Well,
Yeah.
where's the financial aid for that? There
They
isn't.
have some, but they only pay a certain percent, and the rest
Right.
is on you. Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I think they do some college community grant kind of thing nowadays, but I don't know if the federal funding is still the same. And I don't know that came, well, that had to have came from Department of Education, but that's just money people are paying back
What is the
anyways.
cost per unit at a college now? Because I remember in
Oh.
the early 90s, it was like $12.50 per unit.
Oh no, that's how I did. My daughter got her master's, and I'm like, geez, Louise, you're talking about like 20 grand
Yeah.
for 2 classes. I mean, it's like
Oh,
something
the
crazy.
Yeah.
cost of books. Oh my gosh, the books.
Yeah, the books, the class. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's a scam in and of itself.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
it's a scam. It seems like unheard of that it could be that expensive,
Right.
and they have tons of people. So
Hey,
I had a number of college classes where there was one level of that class.
Yeah.
You have a book this thick,
right, that costs
and you're only
$500.
and you're only going to cover the first 150 pages over the course of a semester.
Right.
And you're sitting there wondering, wait a minute, why did I spend $500 on this book
Yeah.
for me to only use 10% of it?
Right.
Well, I believe that it's like what Firecracker was saying earlier. It's about the money. It's not about the education. It's about the children learning. It's
Right.
about the money, and that's the bottom line. The money.
Right.
Well, they got to pay their professors.
And they don't really care. They push them all through, like you said, Spitfire. They push every single kid through. That's the No Child Left Behind. But that's because they get their money every day, as long as that kid's there. If the kid don't show up, like Billy said, you'll get a call.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if your kid's flunking, they're not going to call you till it's too late. I mean, it's like way out.
So you look at education on the highest level, and the
Right.
one thing that makes nails on a chalkboard for me is if you go into the service, they
Yeah,
dangle
yeah.
this carrot over your head. You know,
Right.
oh, you'll get the GI Bill, you'll get the GI Bill.
Right.
But what are you going to do with that little bit of money? Like, how far is
Yeah.
that really going to get you?
It's not going nowhere. That's too little. It's too little.
Yeah, it's almost like pennies to the dollar. What you're referring to. Yeah. I get
Correct.
it.
Yep.
Yeah. I think per semester you're looking at least like, I mean, private colleges are at least like 40 grand a semester.
Yeah.
I mean, the ones here in California are high ditch.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
That's super high ditch. So I don't know. I would think that they should cough up some more money. California should anyways to help educate people here for
So what do you
trades,
think?
whatever they want to do.
What do you think, Doge, Department of Education, or just get rid of it and all?
I say get rid of it because it's
All
just
right.
a waste of money. That's what I think. But that's just
Yeah, I'd like to see it eliminated and then built from the ground up.
yeah.
Bring it back to
They-
the state to have control.
Even
of it.
if we bring it back at all.
Right.
If we're getting rid of government agencies, I just request, Lord, please, can we get rid of the ATF,
Yeah, right.
Right?
please?
Don't you mean the AFT?
I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he means. Hey, YouTube, you monitors, mods. I don't know what he's talking
This is
about.
a
I don't
wonderful
know.
comment that just came up. Is hands-on experience is usually the best way to
It is.
learn and what does that say? Refrain it. Yes, or retain
Retain.
retain
Yeah,
the,
learning retain it.
yeah,
Right.
retaining
true.
information. And that's absolutely true.
Yeah, it's true.
And again, money is the root of all evil. But money can be used for good. But what was it? The road to evil usually starts out with good intentions. And that's
Well,
Yep.
didn't the Department of Education start in sometime in the 1970s, late 70s?
yeah, it was a 70.
So it never existed before until then. Yeah,
Yeah. So why do we need it now? Right. I mean, that's just
Exactly.
ridiculous.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's only
Yeah, so
become
they
corrupt.
got rid of
Exactly.
Right.
they got rid of civics and created social studies, and now it's ethics studies, I believe, is what it's called.
Right.
So,
And why was so many people trying to break down the doors of the Department of Education trying to get in there? Remember? I mean, like all these politicians.
Well, I can tell you why. Because they had a bunch of bad kids and they needed paddling.
right?
or they had to get their money real quick.
No, it was mostly because they're gonna get detention and they're gonna go ISS. Look, that's what happened. I'm gonna tell you. I don't know.
There it
But
is, right
So
there.
I just brought it up, and the Department of Education was created in '79.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah, see? Spitfire's right. Yeah, we don't need them.
It was fully implemented in '79, I believe. I think it was created maybe a decade earlier than that, but it was slowly implemented and then brought out full scale in '79.
So who created it exactly?
Oh, I don't know.
Squirrel looked it up.
Let's
on it.
see.
I'm just curious how it came.
Was it what was it Nancy
Department of
Reagan, if I'm not mistaken, that pushed
Was-
Reagan?
Okay.
No,
I'm
in
not-
'79 it was Carter was president.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was during his
That was Carter's era. Yeah.
his era.
Yeah. That's interesting. Interesting.
And you know what? You know what's really interesting here is they've got their mission on here. It says, despite the growth of the federal role in education, the department never strayed far from what would become its official mission: to promote student achievement and preparation for global competitiveness by fostering educational excellence and ensuring equal access.
And that's going to cost you $10 million, people, each of you.
Hey, let's see
Hey,
here.
but I got food stamps. It's okay. It's gonna work.
I don't know.
But also on the flip side of the coin, you look at a lot of parents that drop their kids off at school,
Yeah.
and they're
Oh.
like, "Okay, I drop my kids off. It's the school's responsibility to teach them."
You're
I
right.
get that to a certain degree,
Right.
degree. But when those kids come home, you as a parent should be showing initiative to see if your kids are struggling with certain things and help them bring them up to speed. A lot of parents get so caught up. I get it,
Yeah.
financials, work, everyday life, but the kids are the ones slipping through the crack on that.
So, Billy, is that different when I got dropped on my head like a lot of times? I love you guys, man. You know what? Nah, I love you guys. But it hurts right now. Oh my God. To this day, I was like 12 and oh my God.
So, is there anybody else in Trump's picks that we want to talk about?
I think
Hey,
they're all
hey, pick a number. Pick a number. Hold on. Let me get a card.
pick a number.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Hey, man, we got to make the chat badass, right? And
Right.
I know we got off a lot of topic, but hey, I want to just thank Tim, right? I want to thank Pam. I want to thank Billy. Thanks for uh, what you do, what you guys and all of us together, like all unified. God bless. Hey, I got to go eat my dinner. God bless, guys, and enjoy. Sorry if I'm a little dorky, whatever, but hey,
Ah,
make it live, make it real. Hurrah.
all right.
Guys. God bless,
Roger
guys. See
that,
y'all
brother.
later, okay?
See
All
you
right, we'll
later,
talk to you
Albert.
later.
Bye.
Have a
All
great
right,
evening. Have a great dinner.
10-4. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Over and out, rubber ducky. Oh gosh.
Yeah, with the schools,
Yeah.
I was unfortunate to not have a lot of the trades taught in my school.
Yeah.
Now there is a school over here that I do a lot of work with that teach where they have automotive, culinary, metal
Wood.
shop. They don't do wood shop,
Oh, they don't.
but
That's
they
unfortunate.
they do. This particular school is one of very few in the area that actually still does this.
Yeah.
And coming from the auto industry, between 2019 and 2021, we lost 80% of the workforce in the auto industry.
Right.
Yeah.
They're trying to bring that back, though. I think. I hope.
They're trying to, but we have a lack of desire of this generation to get into the trades in general.
Well,
Mhm.
we've got to start at a younger age by getting the reading and writing comprehension as well as arithmetic, and if we don't have those, it takes away from a lot of the fundamentals. Some good history taught as well, real history for that matter. But what I'm getting down to is like, what's it going to do to our military if we don't have intelligent children today?
Yeah.
Go
we're
ahead,
trouble.
Billy. Bring it. Billy's doing that thing again. Bring it, Billy.
But if you look at who Trump picked to run the CIA, I think that was a good pick because it's helping to boost morale. I look
Yeah.
at who he picked for vice president.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
has increased military morale. Having essentially one of your own in office to get you what you need, get you those benefits, and hopefully, with all these key players in certain positions, we're going to see TRICARE get reformed. We're going to see VA hospitals getting the resources they need.
Yes.
You know, the benefits, not sitting in a TRICARE emergency room for 8 hours when you just had a heart attack trying to wait to get seen by a doctor.
Right.
If you know, you know.
Right. That's too funny.
Yeah, so I totally understand that. I've spent some time with my cousin, a Vietnam vet. I've taken him over to the VA hospital a number of times, and wow, just talk about a hurry up and wait game. Whew, that was
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Appreciate that, F from Kansas or KS.
I think there was a lot of overlap in the cabinet members and their roles right now. Like it seems like there's 2 or 3 people shifting in one position, you know, on whatever it might be, Homeland Security, you know, immigration, whatever, trying to set up different things. And then you have, of course, the other roles of, you know, creating jobs and the economy and all that. It seems like they're all very much overlapped.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's good. It seems like it's a good
So
group.
we just had a comment up here, lack of desire to work with
Oh,
these
yeah.
younger generations. Okay, so when I was a kid, I was, mowing lawns, I was throwing newspapers, I was,
Right. Me
my
too.
mid to late teens, I was sharpening saw blades,
Right. At the hardware
come
store.
on. I mean, and the kids don't know what work ethics are.
No, they don't.
Right.
Just
They're too spoiled.
eating their cereal and watching cartoons for 7 or playing their video games because that's all they're into is whatever
Right.
latest and greatest, RTG role playing game, whatever in the heck they're doing. Putting together little building blocks on a computer screen.
I'm glad I grew up before technology took
And
off.
this is
Me
a
too.
psychological thing. When they're doing that, they're not actually physically doing anything. And this also goes for movies. We're all rooting for the
Right.
underdog. Yeah. Oh yeah, we won, but we didn't do a darn thing. So we're sitting butt on couch.
Right. Right.
So it's a whole psychological play on all these movies and on these games that actually doesn't do a darn thing.
I think
There's
they
no-
used to tell us to go outside and play, and then when it was dark, just to be home by the time it's dark, and we all
Yeah.
ran around, and the whole neighborhood ran together, right?
Pretty much.
So
That's how it was.
nowadays,
It was great.
Yep.
I miss
Yeah.
the old days that way.
me too. Me too.
The other thing, Tim, that I do like that Trump did was he had a diverse mixture of, women and men in his cabinet.
Yeah.
So I think there's a good balance in that. We've
Right.
seen in the past with other people's cabinet how, one has been pulling to the
Yeah.
other side in numbers, but I think
Right.
it's a good mixture and a good input, and he's going to get a very diverse group of people to
Yeah.
I
give him
agree.
feedback. And that's what I like is somebody that's open to listen and take in everyone's thoughts and concerns as a collective versus, my way or the highway.
Right.
Yeah.
Dictatorship.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
and by having that diverse group of people, brain fart.
Whoops.
Okay,
But
but by having that diverse group of people, you're able to actually more accurately get an opinion and
Project them
more
outside.
accurate representation of
Right.
this country.
Right.
Correct.
That's true. That is true.
during Trump's first term, back
I was just gonna say
2016
that.
up to 2020, he was called anti-gay, anti-black, anti-this and that. But if you look at who he had in his cabinet then, Ben Carson was black. I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name. And if he chooses to run for governor of California, get that vote out, guys. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name right now. But he's actually gay. He just doesn't spill it out in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, why can't I think of his name? I can see his face even.
I
Yeah,
would Google it, but I
really good
can't
guy.
remember.
He was the ambassador for Germany.
Oh, okay. I don't know who it is.
Oh, Billy's. I can see your gears grinding.
I'm drawing a
Grinnell.
blank.
Rick
Me
Grinnell.
too.
So yeah,
Okay.
Rick Grinnell's the guy's name that I was trying to think of.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, okay, so if Trump is so anti this and anti that, why were these people on his cabinet?
Right. Right.
And I'm not trying to, pick on anybody in particular, but I'm just, trying to, point out a thing. Trump actually had a well-rounded group of people.
Well, I remember we were in a waiting room at the hospital, and this guy came in and told me that Trump was a racist. He goes, Trump would be great if he wasn't a racist. And I go, well, why is he a racist? And he goes, because he wants to deport everybody. And I go, well, wait, let me just ask you something. When you go to bed at night, do you lock your front door? And he goes, well, yeah. And I go, well, why? And he goes, well, I want to keep my family safe. And I said, exactly. We want to keep it safe. We have to know who's coming in here. We have to know if they're like, some gang or rapist or whoever the heck it is. I go, I don't consider that to be racist. I think that's smart. That's a smart decision, right? To lock your front door.
Yeah.
Right. You're judging people off of their character.
Yes.
Right?
And that's what matters.
I leave my front door unlocked.
I do too, Billy.
Yeah.
Every day.
Hey, if people want to find out, they can find out real quick, if you know what I mean.
Come in and find out. True story. I do too. We've never locked it once, but we'll see. Somebody be really, really sadly mistaken to come in here because,
we'll make some peanut butter cookies.
Yeah, right. Right.
I want cookies.
We'll dip them in chocolate too.
They're gonna be nuts.
Oh, Squirrel wants those nuts again. Dang it.
Not these nuts.
You guys are killing
All
Got
right,
it.
anybody else that we want to talk about in regards to Trump's picks? Because we've definitely gone a little bit over an hour.
No, not me.
Billy, Squirrel?
I'm good, brother.
Spitfire, you're being too loud over there. Ah. He's like, yes, I am.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Well, yeah.
Really good news is I now have electricity again. I don't know if you saw some brightness.
Woo! Yeah, I see the light behind you.
Power. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to be charging everything up and plugging my computer back in, and I'll be back in business before too long. So I'm hoping this show came through fine for everybody out there. Be sure to join us next day for Patriots 3, Life, Liberty, Pursuit of Happiness. You can find it on Tim Holiday over on Rumble, on Facebook, as well as, well, we hadn't been banned yet from YouTube, so go ahead and find it there as well.
That'll be later.
All right. Anybody want to have any closing statements?
Thank you to the power company for getting Tim's power back on. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
You don't believe how much I appreciate it.
It only took a few days.
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe.
Yeah. Go ahead and follow Tim Holiday on any of the platforms there I just mentioned, on Rumble, on Facebook, as well as on YouTube.
That's right.
Yeah, go ahead and smash that like button, and get let's break the algorithms.
Smash it, whack it, do something.
Yeah, exactly what Firecracker just said. All right, so until next time, y'all have a good night.
You too. Good night.